We're conquering Mega Eagle. Alright folks, how you doing? We had a successful copper pour out of the foundry. Here we go. Okay, very basic. I like it. The simpler the better, eh? And it actually works. I had told you that you'd only see it again after it was installed in the new foundry shed, which has now been built. So I'm, doing a few mods on this so it can operate indoors. But in the comments, one of you had asked for a little bit more of a detailed look at the construction of this foundry. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly show you how it's put together. Very small handheld blower. I think it's 1,000 watts or something like that. Little tiddler. Gate valve here, so I can shut the draft right down to a little whisper, which is important for starting the thing up. You really got to get some heat in the bottom before you go dumping a load of fuel and more air in there. Yeah. Fuel, ever so simple, just a gate valve. It seems to be fairly common with oil burners, people burning oil, whether for heat or for foundries. Gate valves, you can fine tune them a little bit. This is the same one that I'd had with my heater in the workshop last year. Yeah, and that just copper pipe. The fuel supply goes on the end there. And there's a bit of 8mm that goes inside the steel tube that's welded to this feed pipe, and so it just drips into this air and fuel pipe and gets blown into the bottom of the furnace. Alright, so lid, this is one of the things I'm modifying. Okay, fortunately we've got plenty of old gas bottles and sections of floating around, so I can demonstrate this. So the foundry itself, the bottom half anyway, is the burner, yeah, and all I did was jam a brick into the rammable refractory at the bottom, and then 2 thin bricks set like that, and obviously you have to wedge the corners into that rammable as well, so they don't drop down. So that's essentially what it looks like. The lid, nothing special about this. I tried to put a lip on it so it'd seal up, and that's one of the things I've got to sort out now. This whole thing changed shape a bit, so I've just got to make the diameter of this lip, this flange, a little bit larger so it actually goes on reliably and doesn't leave me farting around with a red hot 5 or 6 kilo lid. Yeah. Okay, so we've got another sealing flange on the outside of the top half. Okay, so we've got a couple of bits of bar welded to the bottom and some tube welded to the top half. I've just been sliding it up and down. It's quite heavy as well, and what I'm thinking, I don't want to be this close to it anyway when it's roasting hot. Okay folks, look at this, the shenanigans I've been up to. It's not a premiere job, yeah, so like there's some bits of old bolt welded on here and there. I didn't spend the time turning everything down from stock, but we don't need that, do we? That's a bit of something that didn't get used. What have we got here? Nice big wheel and ratchet mechanism and cable on each side. Again, just with bolts tacked onto the lids. Does work. It does need the weight of the chimney. I've had to push it down a bit, but the weight of the chimney on there, it should make it go down a bit better. It might get a little bit annoying raising this up just to put a little bit of scrap in there, but it's a small price to pay, I reckon, for having an indoor foundry. Yeah, it is nice having it inside and everything else inside. Just got to worry a bit less about things getting wet, haven't you? Okay. That flips off completely, so it's going down alright this time. Yeah, it is. Lovely. Cool. There you are. I don't want it to slam down, you know what I mean? Because it's got that that refractory is pretty tough old stuff, but I still don't want to chance any damage to it, you know. All right. Oh, we're pretty good. I haven't put pins. I've got to put pins in these pulley guards to stop the cable doing anything silly when it goes slack. I haven't done that yet, but it still seems to be behaving itself, which is what you want, isn't it, eh? Don't want to be reliant on your pulley guard pins. They're just there for safety, aren't they? Yeah, you know what I mean? I do need a little spinny knob on here, I think. Just so, just speed it up a little bit. Okay, so look, I've, it's not got insulation in it, but that's the shroud, if you like, to keep the insulation safe and sound. Oh, I suppose it'll reflect a little bit of heat as well itself, I would have thought. What else have I done? I have cut these tubes on the side off and replaced them with much longer tubes, just to, you know, make it go up and down a bit better. That was silly making them short, you know. There was no need to have them short like that. It's just, well, I don't know. Can't tell you why I did it, but it certainly goes up and down a lot nicer now. There we go. Even looks remotely smart, doesn't it, eh? I've been throwing some paint around. I'm not sure how much point there is in painting stuff like this, but it's been quite a long time where I've been R&D'ing oil burning foundries, and now that I've finally got something that suits my needs well, and probably won't fall apart too quickly, it'll be nice to stop it rusting quite so fast, wouldn't it, eh? Right. We're going to be moving it into here. This is just a crappy little open shed that I threw up. It's not got a door in it, you know, kind of regretting that choice, but whatever. Just got an earth floor. I did build it up with some clay. They already bolted the fuel tank in there. We've got power in here and some lights. So the burner is going to go in this corner. Look, there's his little brother. They both started the build on these two at the same time. That one I'll probably use more, to be honest, because we've been using it with gas, but we've run out of gas now, so we definitely need to finish the oil one. You know what, lads? This is almost looking too professional and tidy for one of my jobs. Yeah, good job we got all that crap up top to lower the tone again, eh? Right, so we've got to get a chimney on here. Going to cut a hole in the roof. Again, the chimney is going to get pretty bloody hot, I reckon. So I've bent up some metal to go behind the chimney again, just to protect these surfaces. And then we'll put a piece of steel. We'll cut a big square of the roof away and get a steel plate. I want an extra bit of wood to tie those in if we're cutting that roof away. Get a steel plate and stick it down to the roof with some nails and some glue, some sealant or whatever, and what? Try and figure out a way of preventing all the water from coming back down the chimney. Okay, so this is what I came up with for my flashings. Hopefully my pipe is at the right angle here. We've got some sort of a guide there, so the chimney can go up and down with the top of the foundry, and a little scarecrow hat here. Right, it's not really visible, so I did throw some paint on it. This is only 1mm steel and I don't know, it's that VHT paint which doesn't do well outside, but I still reckon the chimney's going to be a wee bit toasty up here. We've got a nice old air gap though, in between the chimney and the top hat, and there's a decent enough gap there, so I'm hoping it will pull a draft on the outside of the chimney through that gap, and maybe take a bit of the warmth out of the shed whilst the burner's lit. Alright, so yeah, I'll stick this on top of the roof and get the chimney in, then we just got to worry about a bit of heat shielding behind the chimney and it'll be done, won't it? It's this old oil tank. It's a good bit of oil tank that I've got, you know, still bloody useful. Still got one entire tank left over, to be honest. Yeah, it's handy having an abundance of 3mm steel floating around, isn't it? Okay, we've got sorry, the sunlight's coming straight through that door, isn't it? I'll try and get a better angle. A shroud around the chimney, and that's what the flashing looks like from inside. So, well, it's not the tidiest work I've done on this job, but I think hopefully it will stop us from burning the shed down. But there's only one way to find out. We are pretty much done now, I think. So probably lays momento de truth. I've just got to give you a shot from outside of the chimney going up. Apart from anything else, I want to see what it looks like. Okay, so let's get this thing lit up and try and do a little copper pour or something like that, I guess. Whatever I can lay my hands on, I think we can do copper. That's not good, but I'm glad I put a steel behind it, otherwise I wouldn't have a shed right now, would I? Hey? Alright. Fuck, basically, fuck. Okay, so that was exciting. The flames were a lot higher before I shut the fuel off. You know, I did that, I'm sorry, my apologies, I did that before I grabbed the camera. I hope you understand. If I hadn't done, there probably wouldn't be a shed here right now. I just stepped out for a minute to grab a watering can, something I should have done before I fired this up. A watering can, maybe we'll stick an old fire extinguisher on the wall or something. That might be a nice, make me feel a little bit more reassured about doing this indoors. Okay, so that was an overfuel situation, but it did draw my attention to the deficiencies in this joint between the upper and lower halves, yeah, which we've got to get sorted out. But I mean, I was getting a lot of smoke in here anyway, so there's a couple of reasons for that. There's the fact that we've got you know, a less than airtight joint here, but at least it does fit smoothly on top of each other, like reliably, which it wasn't doing before. So I'm sure we can do something with this. And B, we've got a big chimney here, isn't it? So it's got to really force everything up there. Look at those, we've got some beautiful rainbows going on that stainless there, haven't we? I'm not sure how long this is going to last. Don't know what grade of stainless this is. This is just the cheapest chimney flue I could buy. It's already been outside for quite a while. I've been using it for something else. So, fortunately, young David, the absolute legend that he is, who gave me the refractory material, also gave me some really nice large section, like fire rope, basically the sort of stuff you have in a log burning stove, but this is proper thick stuff. So I'm going to try and rig something up around this joint to stop so much of the gases escaping. Yeah. Okay. It's just a small piece of some of the selection, the wide selection of ropes that David gave me. Look at that. Try fitting that in your wood burner, eh? Okay, big fat bit of rope installed. It's not going down all the way. I think certainly going off my previous experience of stove rope on a stove, it'll compact a bit, and you know it'll conform to my requirements. Hopefully, with a bit of operation. Yeah, nice fat old bit of rope though, isn't it? Eh? We just got a clamp where the two ends meet on the right hand side there, using one of the existing holes for the shroud. There we go, a little clamp. I did cut some teeth on it so that the rope doesn't pull back out. Yeah, it's nice. It's tidy as I could possibly hope for. All right, let's try. What else do I need to do? I can't remember now. Was I going to beef up the steel on the sides? Can't remember. Yeah, I was thinking of also cutting some extra holes in this shed. I think that can wait until I'm not making a video. Yeah, let's just try and get a melt out of this. See what other disasters we can we can create. But yeah, I expect I'll cut some louvers in the sides. I just want to keep this area dry, not necessarily windproof. I think wind's going to help us, but yeah, let's see if we can at least keep the worst of the smoke out of here now we've got a sensible gasket on there. Yeah. So fucking civilized, Joe. Yeah, that's the chimney on the outside, so that's not great because we're putting sparks out in places. Here's the chimney on the inside. Yeah, none of this is great. None of this is great, and it is making some odd backdrafty noises. Jesus fuck! I've shut the fuel off now. Oh dear, I've shut the fuel off now. This isn't okay, is it? Oh my days. Oh dear. Hopefully that's just the soot from the inside of the chimney from when I was using it as a log burner. Bloody hell. We've cut most of the smoke down from in here though. That's good, isn't it? That's good. Let me get the laser pointer. Okay. I'm pretty sure I just overfueled it again. It's pretty tricky. I've only fired this thing up a few times without the chimney on it, and now obviously we've got a chimney on there. It's a lot harder to see what's going on. Fueling is always a bit tricky. I don't know, with race stall in general, I guess, my experiences anyway. Okay, it's all out. Fans off, blowers off rather, and we're all safe. Conclusions, yeah. I don't think, look, with this outside and no chimney on it, yeah, it's pretty easy to say to see when I'm getting enough fuel in there and that. And I know I've got to get to grips with this burner because I haven't been using it at all recently, and you know it's been like a few months, and I only used it a few times then, so I probably could learn, you know, how to fine tune it and that without Yeah, without over fueling it first. But you know, it's just twice I've tried firing it up, and twice I've nearly burnt the shed down. Yeah, so I have to build it and assume that there will be another overfueling event, which means I've got to have some sort of spark arrestor up top, because what? Yeah, the bits and bobs flying out aren't great. It's okay now. It's not going to cause me a problem this time of year, but in the summer when there's dry stuff around, like could get out of hand, couldn't it? But most importantly, I've got to figure out another fuel metering system. You know, rather than just that thing, that is not okay for a foundry that I can't see inside until it's too late. Yeah, like by the time I see things starting to glow red hot, I've already overfueled it, and it's going to get even hotter before it gets colder, even if I shut it down right there and then. Yeah, and that's the long and short of it. So what I think I'll do, I've already been on eBay whilst this is cooling down enough for me to shut the fan off. Can't turn the fan off straight away because we'll end up with a bomb, won't we? Yeah? So got to leave the fan running until it's cooked off all the oil, even after I shut it down. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, oil burner. He's been messing around with some dosing pumps, sort of aquarium type things. Not ideal for waste oil, I don't think. He uses a bit of cooking oil in his burners. We're obviously chock full of nastiness out of car engines in here, so perhaps a dosing pump, if you know what they are, it's basically deforming a rubber hose with rollers. It's pushing the liquid through the pipe basically by deforming the pipe. A bit like how an intestine works, actually. You know, I think there's a name for it. Peristal. No, I don't know. Maybe there's something else. Whatever. Anyway, so they're very cheap. They're very cheap pumps. So we can have a little play around one of them. I do need an extraction fan in here just to hit it on when the lid comes off, because it gets in your eyeballs pretty quick in a confined space, and we need more ventilation in general, I think. So there's going to be a part two. Obviously, what we've done, I think I've done to a reasonable standard, and it would be a shame to throw it all away. So rather than risk that, I think we're going to split this up into a two-parter. Insulation works ever so well, even quietens it down quite considerably in here. It's not quiet, and the floor still vibrates when it's at full chat, when it's been overfueled, but it's still a nicer volume than it would be otherwise. The winch works well. It's a tiny bit slow. I was thinking that it might have been better if I just had something I could yank on and it went up quick, but this will work fine. It still saves the second handling operation with the crucible, which is what I was always aiming for. And don't know about this stovepipe. I think if we don't overfuel it too many times, then this bit of stovepipe should be alright. The heat shields work nicely. The wall's not getting at all hot. Even when we had flames licking up the side of these, we weren't much over 100 degrees, and they've got 4 inches between them and the wood, so that's okay. I think we did well. So do need new cowl, fuel pump, and an extractor fan, and I think we'll have a lovely indoor waste oil burner that will work beautifully. And if anyone's got any suggestions, please leave them. It's the first time I've made an indoor waste oil burner. Anyway, right, I hope you like that. Sorry we didn't get a melt, but I think it's better this way to have something that we can use a lot in the future rather than a nice big fireball once. Yeah. Right, take it easy, folks. I'll see you later. Bye bye.